Sorry, it's taking so long to get over here.
That's cool.
So these are op amps.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I don't know why they start with 2 and 3, but
yeah, so we're using
I think I deleted
4
the
and
first
3.
one.
So does that make
no, these are like, you know how you have like an R6 and an R7?
Yeah.
It's just a designation for Circuit Lab.
Oh, okay. Well, just because on here, you know, you have them labeled. So I didn't know if it was like, oh, only do 3 and...
No, this doesn't matter. Just pick any 2 that you want. And I call it, you know, LM324A and LM324B.
Oh, I see.
That's just meaning they're just any 2 op amps in that chip.
Okay.
Any questions?
Yeah, we just have the one capacitor here. That's cool, right?
Yeah.
And we had made this positive and that negative, and we made just positive and negative on this end too. That doesn't make a difference, right?
In case you need plus 12 down there. Yeah, that's fine.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. So blue is negative. Yeah, good.
Yeah. We'll let you know if we run into any problems. Probably will.
What's this guy doing here?
That's the diode, right?
Yeah. Okay, you need the 220 still on it, right?
Yeah, and we're gonna put that in series with the 220.
1K, the 1K.
No, the 220.
Oh, that diode. Yeah. So that's the diode. That's this diode. Yeah.
Yeah. And we're gonna put the photo cell right here because this is our output. No, this is our V plus right there. I know it's kind of crammed, but it's right there.
Yeah, why don't you move it over a little bit? It doesn't have to be right next to it. I would spread things out a little. You know, give yourself some room.
Don't we have to put it on the same, or finger on the same?
Yeah. So, and you know what I think I like to do for this is, well, either way is okay. But yeah, so you can put the photocell right next to it, right in there, and then
run a wire to it.
What do you mean run a wire to?
Run a wire to.
We have to run it to the V positive.
Yeah, so just run a wire to it.
Okay.
So you spread it out a little bit, otherwise it gets too jumbled.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, just adding a little short wire will help a lot.
All right.
So that's your blocking capacitor going to the second op amp.
Yeah.
And that's your voltage divider point. Yeah, that's good.
All right.
There's your 100K resistor.
All right. Thanks, Paul.
Yep. Questions?
Move the ground, or not the ground, but the minus side of the.
Yeah, you can put the ground down there.
Yeah, so it just makes it easier.
Sure. Yeah, that's a good idea.
Which one's the photo cell? This one?
No, those are LEDs. It should be in the LED bin.
It's not that, is it? That's
you got one already. Yeah.
Oh wait.
Yeah, that's it. You got another one there.
What is D1 then?
That's the LED.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Let's put that just.
This is the LED. The LED goes in with the 220, and the photocell goes with the 10K.
And does it matter which side goes where?
Yeah.
So this one's
the long wire is the high potential side.
Okay, so that would connect to
plus 12.
Plus 12. Okay.
Yeah. Questions? Getting anything?
It's such a mess, Tom. I don't even know.
So, are you a little worried about the accuracy that you wired it, you mean?
Yeah.
Okay. You ready to fire it up yet?
I mean, the light came on when I did it, but...
This light came on. Okay.
Yeah.
Good. You don't have the capacitor up here. You should put that on there to filter the power supply.
Okay.
And you don't have ground. No, you do have ground. Ground is up there.
Down. My ground is like the bottom.
Yeah, that's good.
Blue.
Yep. You got the 220. You got the 10K. Should work. You got that going over to there. And grab a 1 microfarad. You don't really need this circuit. I should just take that off because you don't need that because that's going to tell you when you got power. But grab the 1 microfarad capacitor. That's good to have.
This is the one. Yeah. We're not doing. Or we are doing the diode thing at the end.
What diode thing?
The light. Come on.
No, don't bother with that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you can skip that diode in the upper right corner because you got an LED on your sensor. So okay, so that is going to. You know what? I should have got that pin out on the same page.
I got a bunch of this stuff on this thing.
Yeah, pull that up. Having the pin out there, that's good. That's very helpful. Good, awesome. Yeah, that's what you do. So you've got the put it a little closer. It's really cool. So you've got the voltage divider, and you got a wire going to pin 3, which is the positive input of this op amp right there. Right, that's pin 3 right there, and that's that. And then you've got the feedback, which is coming out of pin 1, is going to pin 2 right back in. That's making your voltage follower circuit. And then you've got that guy going from here, the output, to the inverting input for the op amp on the other side, right? That's pin 13 right there.
Yep.
So that's this guy here. All I was saying is, though, you should put the high potential side. I think it's going to be a higher potential on this side. So I think you want to switch it so that the high potential side of the capacitor, the long wire, is coming at the output.
Okay.
And the short wire is going to the input of the second amplifier.
Okay.
That should be labeled on the diagram. I think I'll add a label there for future reference. And then you've got the feedback resistor going from, and you kind of put a jumper here to give yourself a little more room, the output there.
Yeah.
And, you know, this is very normal for circuits. They always get like this way.
A mess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They get kind of messy. And then the output is going to there, so that you can take the feedback resistor 100K and send that back to the inverting input, right? That would be back to pin 13. Then you have the output of that amplifier, which is pin 12, is going on that blue wire out to there.
Yeah.
And wait a second. Oh, that's the pin 12 is the input. Sorry. Pin 12 is the input, and you've got the voltage divider. Now this is not connected. Okay, that's one error. It's the only error I've seen so far.
Wait, this one is it?
This no, because there's a gap right across that central channel.
Oh, whoops.
Right.
Yeah. Okay.
So you got to move that so it's connected over there. You could
Yeah, sure.
You can move this one up one, and then
Put a wire
there.
in. Yeah.
I would leave the blue wire in there because it's hard to move that thing.
Right.
But you can easily pass over it.
Okay.
So that's your bias resistors, and then the output, though, of that circuit is coming out to basically this point here, right? That's your
Well, it should be coming out up here at 14.
pin 14, and you're bringing it over here to get to the feedback resistor.
Yeah.
Now you're going to also want to measure the voltage there, so you should pull something out so that you can measure it.
Okay.
And eventually, you're going to put that on the analog discovery. So.
Yeah, I was trying to figure out where.
So you can take those jumper pins. Just give me one of those. These guys. Those 6-pin headers.
Oh.
Put one of these like here, and then I mean you could plug it in right there, but it's getting really tight. So I would take another jumper wire, take it out to there.
Okay.
And then you can take another wire from ground and take it up to here. Or if you want to take it closer to ground, you can move that down there, whatever. But attach one of these to ground and one of these to this point here, and then you can take this to analog discovery. And you can look at it while you're putting your finger on there.
So then, just to be clear, when I want to plug in the analog discovery, I want a ground for this down here, and I want one from... Which pin do I want it to go from?
From the output.
Right, so...
The point coming right out of the amplifier, so that's basically pin 14,
right?
But this yellow wire is taking it over to here. You could go straight to pin 14 and come over there, or take it right from there to there. Either way's fine.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know why I put it over here then. Couldn't I just move it? Move this all the way over here?
Yes, but you also need... You could move this all the way over here, but you also need this bias point. Oh, no, that's actually... That's a different circuit. Well, you need the feedback resistor, though, right?
Yeah, that's
so
right. That's why I put it there.
You got to have it there for the feedback resistor. You can't stretch that resistor out too far.
Okay.
So it's easier enough just to put another wire in there. I mean, you could, if you want, just... you could just stick one of these right in there and then attach the analog discovery right to the end of this pin. You don't need that 6-pin header. You could just go like that. And then this wire can go to the analog discovery wire as well, right?
Okay.
That's a little bit easier. You can do the same thing for ground.
Just have one.
You don't have to worry about this thing, yeah.
Okay, yeah. So then I can just plug it all in.
Yeah.
attach this. Cool. It looks like a mess, but I guess it's...
It's an organized mess. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a mess with a purpose. Any questions over here? Okay. Question?
Yeah. So the analog discovery needs to go to V out. Which V out?
The V out on the circuit.
Oh.
That's the out right there.
Oh, so this is where the 100K. Where do we put the 100K?
100K is between.
So that
9 and
this
8.
is V
So
out.
it's on the lower one. Yep.
So it's just so we need a 6-pin connected to that node. Unfortunately, I don't leave a lot of room for it.
Yeah. Yeah, you could also just use a jumper wire, but yeah, it'll fit right in there. If you can fit it, that's good. Otherwise, you can just take a jumper wire.
And then also to ground,
Yeah.
and that's it.
Yep.
Okay. Oh, that's easy.
Yeah.
Orange and white. Okay. And orange is the output, and orange white is the ground.
Yep.
The hell?
You can just put it. It lost its plastic thing, but you can just put it over there.
And then we just need a short one to go to.
I think it also helps to bring another black wire to the circuit, but try it without it first.
Oh.
Questions?
Yeah. Oh, is that resistor?
Questions?
Yeah. No.
Okay. Oh, sorry.
You're gonna measure right there.
Measure the voltage at the midpoint of the voltage divider.
Well. Yeah.
Yep, that is right there. Mm-hmm.
All right.
Yep.
All right.
That was easy.
Wired it up correctly.
Okay. So you've got the pin out up there. That's helpful. So you can see that. Closer. And so this is your power supply coming in. You got ground going down. You got plus going up. You brought a ground over there for convenience. That's good. And this guy is off the row.
Oh, okay.
So you want to move this wire so it's in line with that red one. You see that on the just look here on the camera. That way we know we're getting it videoed okay. So we want to move that over one, so we move that over there. Also, you want to put this so it's right. You've got to get your finger on both of these at the same time. And that's spread out a little bit far. It can sometimes work pretty well when you have a large separation. But you are attaching that there so that it goes straight into one of your op-amp inputs, right? Which pin is this going to? Well, see, that's going to... which pin are you trying to get this to?
That's pin 4.
Pin 4. So pin 4 is VCC. That's supposed to be plus 12. That's the power to the chip.
Okay.
So you need to run plus 12 to that pin. And then, let's see. Oh, you only need one of these. So I want you to pop that one out. In case something damages this one, you can actually... did the kit come with 2? Did you have 2 in your kit? I wasn't sure how many I had in there. Yeah, so I don't want you to use 2, because if you damage them both, then you're going to be screwed. But, well, you've got it. You can always get more in the lab. But in general, because each one of these things has 4 op-amps inside it, you only need 1 chip, because you got 4 in here.
Okay.
There's 4 amplifiers in that 1 chip. See, there they are right there. 1, 2, 3, 4. If you need, you could use this amplifier for this, and you could use that amplifier for that, or vice versa, or over there, or whatever. Any 2 of those amplifiers will do. So you got to have plus 12 there and ground there, and then this is move this over closer to
the right LED.
Yeah. So it's right next to it, and And then this is going to go into the plus side. So this has you got to pick one of the input pluses of the amplifier. So you could take it up to pin 3.
For the.
Or you could take it to pin 5. That's the plus input for that amplifier. Or pin 10 on this side, or pin 12 on this side. Those are all the positive inputs for the amplifiers. So that's where this guy goes. Then for the same amplifier, you got to take the feedback, the output, and feed it back to the minus side. So if you're going to use, say, this amplifier, which is right here, right? You would pull this over and then take a wire from the point where they're coming together, that same row, and jump it over to pin, say, pin 3, right? And then pin 1 and pin 2 would be connected because you want to take the output and feed it back to the minus side of the input.
Okay. So for the pin 1, let's say if I want to do output 1, I'll move this resistor to the pin 1, or
you want this point right here.
the 10K at the.
You want this point here where my finger is, right there. You want that to connect to pin 3 of this op amp, say.
Okay.
So you bring a wire. That's what that wire is. That wire there to there. Make that a wire.
Okay.
Then add a wire to plus 12, where that resistor is. That should go to plus 12, which is up on this side.
I just put a wire.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, let me fix that.
Same for this one. I don't know what this resistor is doing here.
Well, that's supposed to be the 10. Okay.
Oh, I see. Yeah, so make that go to, again, that has to go to the plus input of a pin 3 of that one if you want. Yeah. Okay?
Okay.
Good.
Tom, I had a quick question about, so the midpoint voltage is going to be what we're measuring right here,
Yep.
right?
Yeah, that's right.
Okay. Because whenever I did this, like, are these supposed to be... Like, well, how are we supposed to get the expected one? Is it just...
Oh, that's screwed up. Yeah, I've done so many. I was up really late last night. I just wanted to do this change, but I didn't have time to mess with the data sheet.
Okay.
So do whatever sort of makes sense. If this doesn't make sense, so V out mostly just the op amp is good. Expected V out is well, we can figure that out. Well.
Yeah, because it has that thing there. The
Yeah,
VM.
I was having him do a test, so let's just skip that. We were going to do special. I was having us put in special feedback resistors. I think you're probably. I'd just do it and see if it works okay, and then if it doesn't, we'll debug it.
Okay.
But when you had the fingers on top of the LED, you were at 8.86. No contact, you had 11.02.
Yeah.
That's good. And that's the first amplifier, right? Wait.
V out is the. I thought that was
The
one.
overall one?
Yeah, that's like
Okay.
here, right?
All right.
So I put that one
Okay.
at my V out here, and then I got this voltage.
That seems a little weird, but
Yeah, that's kind of why I was like, I don't know. Because without it's around 6,
yeah.
but then when I cover it up, it jumps
This lab is kind of a mess.
to
So
11. So
it's hook it up to the analog discovery and just see what it looks like.
okay.
We'll be able to tell. I think if it's screwed up there. We may come back to that test, but
Tom,
yep.
can you check out the circuit?
Okay. That is good. That is going to pin. You got a handout? Well, just to see the pinouts too.
Oh yeah, it's down here.
Okay, both of them at the same time. And so that is going to pin 12, that's good. And then you've got the output, but see, you have to have the feedback. So the output of that op amp is coming out on pin 14, has to feed back to pin 13 to get the voltage follower.
Isn't that what I'm doing with this capacitor?
No, that capacitor is going to... Okay, so you guys don't use 2 of these chips. It's too late now, but you have 4 amplifiers in each one of these things. That's what I was saying. So you
Right.
don't need 2 separate chips.
I was just doing it.
You've
'cause
got 8 amplifiers on the board right now. You only need 2 of them.
I was just doing it because it was less confusing. Doesn't it not really
but then
matter?
if you fry, like if you have something screwed up, you have to fry both of them at the same time.
Oh yeah.
Better to use just one. So you need that feedback resistor right there. It goes from the output to the minus side. And that's going from pin 14 to pin 13 on there. See that?
Guess I forgot to do that.
Yeah. Easy to do.
Yes.
You got that going to, so is this your, can you tell me which one of these is which? So that's going to be plus 12, and that's ground. Now this side, see that's that notch there?
Mm-hmm.
That notch says that this pin here is supposed to go to ground, and you're wearing it to plus 12. See, if you fire this up, you'd be frying both of these amplifiers at the same time.
I was looking at this dot.
Yeah, no, it's this. It's
the
this.
notch.
If you want to rotate everything, you can.
Yeah.
Pull them out and turn them the other way.
Yeah.
Because it is a little bit awkward, but you're going to have to take plus 12 to this side and ground to that side, the way they're currently oriented.
Because if I turned them around, it would just be the same.
Yeah. You know, it is very confusing. You know, why do they put a dot on one side and a notch
what's
on
the
the
point of
other
the dot?
side? Why have a dot? You know, where the 741, I think, had the dot and the notch on the
Right.
same side, right?
Right.
Stupid. They're made for robots to assemble, not for humans.
Yeah, this is a different optic. And this is a different optic. So these two are like not connected.
So then you have this guy going into the input, the inverting input, right? Pin 13 of the second one, and then the feedback is the 100K. And then this is your voltage divider coming from plus 12 to there. That one's good. And then the output of this is
Going to be hooked up to the
it's
analog
going to
discovery.
take a wire from that point, take it out. And there is your filtering capacitor.
How about that? Do I need to do this?
No, don't worry about that.
What is it?
It's an LED for status of power, but when this thing is on, you're going to see that you have power on, so you don't need it.
All right.
Yeah, so this is kind of
Mine's not as
try the finger,
Tommy.
and I was hot because I was embarrassed, but that means my pulse is more clear, and you see that nice, clean pulse signal. That's what you want, and it means I'm alive. And circuits is kind of messy, you know, kind of like this lab. But if you can get a signal, it's really kind of cool. So try your index finger.
Okay.
And Hong, you want to try it? Try not your thumb. Try your index finger. And you want to lay
that
it,
LED.
cover up the LED and that at the same time. And then you wait for it to settle. And try to hold your hand steady. If you can actually sit and just put your hand on the table.
Yeah, I want to take that pulse as well.
And
You're not allowed to do that. You're not allowed to do that.
so,
Mom has a really clear pulse.
yeah, my hands are really warm right now. Usually they're, let me hold your hands. Yeah, you're a little cold right now. So, yeah, if you're nervous or just if you have a cold metabolism, like my hands are always freezing.
Yes.
I used to do ballroom dancing, and nobody wanted to dance with me because my hands were always like ice.
We just got rid of the voltage.
Bypass the voltage follower, yeah. You know, I added the voltage follower because it isolated the rest of the circuit, made it easier to analyze, but it just doesn't work with the voltage follower in there. Where's your analog discovery display?
Got rid of it.
Can we leave the tuning forks alone and work on the lab, David?
Yes.
Is there a reason we must do tuning forks? Because we're into music, right? Okay. Thank you.
So bypassing the voltage follower.
Yeah, did you bypass it yet? Yeah, so you want to actually take this, this wire here, and bypass this amplifier and go, like, take that capacitor out so it's not connecting to the output of this amplifier, and move it somewhere else, and then bring this wire to that point. Does that make sense?
Where do we want the capacitor connected to?
This capacitor is going to connect to this point of the voltage divider.
Okay.
So you're taking that signal that you want, instead of going through the voltage follower, take it straight to the capacitor.
Okay.
The reason that's in there is because when you have this in there, it isolates the sensor from the amplifier.
Mm-hmm.
But when you, maybe there's some resonance or something going on. When you have it in there, then this thing is going straight to the capacitor, and you can't analyze it. It's really hard to analyze the frequency response of this thing, which I really want to do for the purpose of our topic this week, frequency response. But it is obviously a frequency response. You can still add a low pass filter at the end. Okay, so go ahead and do that.
Why would moving the voltage follower help?
I don't know. I wish I knew.
When you did the graph, you do exactly the same thing. So you have like a
This is the first time I've added the voltage follower. I thought that would improve things, and it turns out it doesn't.
Why wouldn't it?
Yeah, because you're isolating the this thing. You're putting very little load on your voltage divider here, right? And yeah, got a really good pulse there. You could increase the volts per division a little more if you want to get more dramatic, but yeah, that's good. And do you have that second ground? So you got 2 grounds. Yeah, you want 2 grounds for the analog discovery. Good.
2 grounds from the analog discovery.
Yeah, one for the red and white. That's the return for the scope.
Okay.
And then this black is the other ground. These are actually both grounds, but. Yeah, so now we have to figure out why the voltage follower messes it up. And I think it must be because the impedance is actually being affected. You know, I was trying to figure out how to even model the sensor circuit. You know, when
because
you have
before it was either on or off when we had it. It would be on if it'd be, but with the voltage follower, it was alternating really fast between on and off.
Mm-hmm.
And so it was almost like it was inverting itself over and over and over.
Yeah.
I just think that maybe the response time with these things just isn't that great.
No, I don't think it's a response time. I think it has something to do with the. These are actually the response time of these amplifiers is really fast.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, but I think. Yeah, it must have something to do with the fact that, you see, you know, when you have this here, you have a low impedance on that side. But you know, the idea of this is you can cascade these, so this is sort of like, this is just showing you what's here. But this is when this is gone, you sort of have an interaction now between this circuit and this circuit, and I think that interaction happens to be pretty important to what it actually is able to produce. I just don't know how to quantify
it. What?
Because when I simulate this on Circuit Lab, you know, I can simulate it with the. I simulate it with an AC source with a DC offset. I figure that's the closest thing. That's kind of what's happening. You know, that's kind of what's happening at the output of this thing. You kind of have some voltage divider that's changing up and down a little bit. We'll put a DC source in there and make it move up and down, and then you could model that really well. You know, if you have if you have this thing. Now I wonder if
They're just going from 12 volts to 0 really rapidly.
But it's unity gain. It should just be tracking what that's doing. Can you get out a voltmeter and just see what the voltage is at the midpoint of the sensor circuit? This point right there, this red wire. David's pulse. So you can, at this point, it's a really clear signal. You can probably detect the pulse rate too, which would be kind of interesting. But your pulse rate is your pulse rate is, well, maybe like 40 beats per minute or so. It seems pretty.
Well, it's like from 10 to 10.
How many?
It's about like 9 or. I feel like 60.
That's like
something.
30 beats per minute or something. Wait.
No, 10.
It's 10 seconds.
Yeah, so
you're getting
about 10, 11.
Oh, okay, that's not too
60
bad.
60 BPM is pretty good though.
Yeah.
Like,
So mine, yeah,
it's pretty healthy.
that is good.
If you were 40, you'd be like asleep.
Yep. Yep.
So we got
Let's go.
some measurements there. Do they make sense to you?
The frequency is 60 hertz. Yeah, that's 1 beat per second.
All right.
1 beat per, yeah. That's what you're getting.
All right.
Now, did you add an extra ground? So you do have an extra ground, right?
Yes.
And it's still a noisy circuit, right? And I don't know why it's.
And we
It's
add
noisy
the
like that.
extra capacitor as well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And we are bypassing the forward.
Turn off the light, see if that helps.
Yeah, you're like.
There's nothing to take that.
Well, if it's 10 and 10, 15 and 10.
Not really.
Oh, you're 9?
Oh, actually, that is better, isn't it?
Your resting heart rate.
It's a little cleaner, isn't it?
Yes. Pretty much the same.
It's like over.
Better.
Let me try. This is a blast. I love this. So, I think my thumb isn't really that good. Try this.
Oh, why is that, dude?
Yeah, it's working, but it's you got a really clear signal. Did it work? Does it work for you, Daniel?
Oh, I haven't tried it.
Wait, so if he was 90 beats per minute, about how many beats is that per second?
Oh, well.
Yeah, there's something in there, right?
Yeah.
One thing you do is like try swinging your arms.
Why?
Because that'll bring more blood into your palms.
Oh, okay.
And try to relax your arm and swing it. Feel the fluid going in there. Feel it kind of swelling a little bit.
Yeah.
And try that and see if that makes a difference. Try for you. It's better, right?
Better.
Yeah.
Much better. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
So, darn it, I wanted to have it work with that voltage follower though, because then we could figure out the frequency response better.
I'm gonna try and get my.
Did you do the low pass filter yet?
No, I'm gonna try it.
Okay. Are you guys still stuck?
Oh yeah.
The circuit was pretty clean to begin with, wasn't it?
Not this clean.
But that's really amazing clean, yeah.
To get real close to the resistor that we're supposed to have.
Yeah, we ended up with a resistor network that came out.
Good.
Like,
Let me try it as a comparison. See how it looks for me on this. Yeah, it's pretty good. That's amazingly clean. Jeez. But you know, you're only going like a half or a volt or so. But the noise is like gone. It's crazy.
yeah.
So it's like 60 hertz noise, I think, that's out there at the high frequencies, and you just filter that stuff out.
Watch it be dead.
Dude, again with the line. I'm just dead inside.
It's flatline.
That's so weird. I have like no pulse in my hand.
Yeah.
Or on you, Matt.
Huh?
So you basically go for actual physical contact with the diode and
This is the camera. That's a different program. I want the calendar. Go away. Go away.
You'll have to edit out that first.
Okay. No, I'm not editing anything. Okay, so this is the circuit without the low-pass filter, and this is the circuit with a partial low-pass filter. So here is the, this is a really good job. But you can see how noisy it is. It measures the pulse, but it's got that band around it. You zoom in, you can see that. It looks kind of noisy. And when you take the finger off, noise is still there. But then you add the low-pass filter, which has this resistor bank. Well, where's it attaching? So this is this was the old VO right here. And what they did was they added a, focus in on there, a resistor network. Come on, focus. Is that going to focus? Oh, there we go. Is that what that does? And they bit a bunch of resistors in parallel and series, and ended up attaching that to a capacitor. So it's going to ground, making a low-pass filter, and with a cutoff. And look at that; it kills the noise instantly. That's with it out. That's with it in. And now you get this beautiful, perfect, very noise-free signal. And it turned out it's still responsive.
3.
So you got a 3 Hz cutoff?
Yes.
Good. Well, that looks really clean. That is very good. I see it. Where's your filter?
Right there.
This part here?
Yes.
So you got, what do you have in there? 2?
We got one capacitor of 100 microfarads and one resistor 470 ohms.
Okay. Okay, good. 470 and 100 microfarads. In series?
In series.
And then you're just tapping in the middle of those, right?
Yes.
Yep. And without that, if you pull the capacitor, then you have pretty much the same circuit you had before.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
It goes back to this really messy thing, right?
Yes.
So when you put that back in, this goes to ground, right?
Yes.
It cleans things up dramatically. Yeah.
Wow.
That's the beauty of filtering. Yeah.
Wow.
That's why it's so important. And there's so many.
That's not really nice.
Yeah. There's so much literature on filters because they're just so important on optimizing signal detection and everything. It's a huge important field.
Yeah.
Yeah. Good.
Use 470 and a.
You know what's weird is when they put theirs to about that, they got a
Really broad.
like it lost a lot of the detail. But that's really picking up pretty good. And you can make that say like 100 millivolts per division and amplify it more.
Wait.
Yeah.
Range, right?
Well, range, yeah. Except it's